Welcome to the fourth ever Geny Mets podcast. And Alo Piro, Josh Einbinder here. We're going to break down trade deadline. It's 4:20. 4 p.m. was the deadline. The Mets acquired Yoenis Cespedes for Luis Cessa and Michael Fulmer. Break down the trade for us.
Well, basically, Sandy Alderson cut it basically as close as he could have. Basically, I think it was 7 minutes, 10 minutes before the trade deadline, we got the note that Yoenis Cespedes had been acquired by the Mets. Right away, we didn't know for what. Initially, the reports were that Wheeler was going to be involved. We found out that Wheeler was not involved, which is good for the Mets and the future. And the Mets got a very good power hitter in the middle of their lineup now. So Yoenis has been proven power. He has over 60 RBIs on the year. He's definitely going to slot right into the lineup. I've been high on Yoenis Cespedes ever since I found out that the Tigers were interested in possibly moving him. And, it's going to be great for Duda. Cespedes will provide a lot of protection for Duda, which will be great for Duda. He's a good all-around guy. He has no trouble off the field. He plays hard. He plays to win. He's a good defensive left fielder. And, it's really good for the Mets right now that they've finally made the trade for the bats that they need. And it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out for them. And the best part about this for me is that the Mets did not give up Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler, as you all know, has been the subject of many trade talks that the Mets have had. And to not give up Zach Wheeler is, in my idea, a score and a steal that they stole Yoenis Cespedes without giving up Zach Wheeler. The Mets did give up Fulmer and Cessa, so again, you give up two prospects that aren't proven. And as I was telling other people before, remember when Ike Davis was coming up and Ruben Tejada were coming up? Those guys were valued prospects. People were very high on them. They thought they were going to pan out very good. And look at that, Ike Davis is gone. I don't even know where he is anymore. And Ruben Tejada's been improving, but he's not been the guy that they thought he would. So in my mind, it's a win because you're trading away unproven players. No matter how high their ceiling is, you're trading away people that have no major league experience in order for keeping Wheeler, which is a guy that we all know can pitch in the majors. So overall, I think it's a great trade for the Mets, and it's a great day to be a Mets fan.
I mean, keep in mind, too, this whole trade deadline season, we only gave up Rob Whalen, John Gant, Casey Meisner, Michael Fulmer, and Luis Cessa. So we pretty much did not affect the Major League roster at all. And I'd even say possibly we got a better deal than the one we were going to give to Carlos Gomez. I mean, we're not giving up Wheeler. We still have Flores, while despite his flaws, he could still help this team eventually. So we only gave up, Fulmer, who I think could really do a nice job in the majors. Cessa, I've heard a little bit about him, and Rob Whalen. But I think we did a really nice job, and Sandy did a great job overall to not give up too many top prospects.
Yeah, that's very solid on Sandy Alderson's part. It's hard to be a GM in New York, especially with a losing franchise for the past 10 years, or not, the past few years. And, Mets fans are ready now, and he understood that. And, when you bring up the point about the Gomez trade, I really think the Mets got a better deal with the Gomez trade, or with the Cespedes trade. Cespedes isn't under contract. He's only under contract for the rest of this year, not next year. But, you got to make that a main priority now to spend your money, go out there, spend your money, and lock up Cespedes for the future. And by doing that, you don't give up any of your core prospects. You keep Nimmo, you keep Nimmo, you keep Geny, you keep Reynolds, you keep Conforto, you keep Yona, you keep 5 of your very good prospects. In addition to that, you keep Rafael Montero in the trade deadline. You keep Flores, who's I guess turned into a hometown favorite of some sort, and you keep Zach Wheeler, the biggest piece that was on the trade market. So it's a very, very good day to be a Mets fan. You keep your core of your prospects, and you get the power bats that you need.
And not just that, by keeping these prospects, we still have room in the offseason to make a potential big deal. If something doesn't work out, we could still get Carlos Gonzalez if we're willing to spend that money.
Yeah, another thing, taking on the rental, the positive of taking on the rental is you don't owe that much money to the player this year. So say it doesn't work out, you let him go. But the issue that we have with that is if the Mets were going to give up Zach Wheeler for a 2-month rental, that's where the problem is, because you're going to give up a pitcher that's proven in the majors, although he's had Tommy John, he could pitch, for a 2-month rental that you're not sure is going to work. And so by keeping Wheeler and trading away 2 prospects, if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, you still get to keep Wheeler and you let him walk, and you basically gave away 2 prospects that you don't know how good they are. So it's definitely a win-win for the Mets, and, I'm giving my props to Sandy Alderson for pulling this one off.
And let's take a look at Yoenis Cespedes' stats this year. 118 hits, 18 homers, 28 doubles, driven in 61 RBI. So instantly, just like that, becomes our RBI leader tied for the most in home runs with Lucas Duda. So really, stats-wise, this trade's looking real nice for us. Now we go over to Michael Fulmer, who's pitching in Double-A Binghamton. He's 6-2 this year, and he's really been dominant. 15 starts, 86 innings pitched. So he's really been a terrific pitcher. Luis Cessa was promoted to Triple-A earlier this month. In Las Vegas, obviously, it's a tougher place to pitch. He's 0-3, but in Binghamton, he was 7-4 this year. So we'll really have to see how they translate to the bigs with Detroit. Now let's move on. Series starts tonight. Matt Harvey, Gio Gonzalez. Prediction for tonight's game.
Prediction, I'm predicting Matt Harvey to get pissed off over his last start against Washington. He's going to come out and he's going to dominate on the mound. I think the Mets are going to be fired up after knowing they got the bat they need. I think now this puts pressure on the Mets outfielders to produce or get sent down or be benched. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how the series go. You know, if for whatever reason, God forbid, the Mets get swept, they're 6 games back, and then things really get interesting. But if the Mets need to come out hard, they need to come out fighting, and I really do think they will. And it's going to be very awesome to see Matt Harvey go out there today and dominate.
Do we think we'll see Yoenis Cespedes in the game tonight? I mean, we have heard there was a 4:30 Acela train from Baltimore, New York that got in at 6:30, and then you'd have to take, obviously, a car from Penn Station to Citi Field. He could get in there in time by the second inning, I would guess, if he got on that 4:30 train.
You know, I mean, even if he gets it, I'm not sure we're going to see him. I don't think Terry wants to rush him into the spotlight. You know, the Mets are playing the Nationals. They're 3 behind. It's a big game. I don't know if you want to rush Cespedes in that spot right now. So sure, we'll see him tomorrow. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if we'll see him tonight. I'm hoping he'll be in the dugout tonight and bring that influence that we need. I don't think we'll see him tonight, but I can't wait to see him tomorrow.
Another thought is, if Harvey's dominating and, they take him out in the 7th or 8th inning, we could see Cespedes pinch hit if he's there.
Yeah, and, I think it also just depends on what you need in the game. If you're down 3 runs in the 7th or 8th inning and your pitcher's up, then you put Cespedes in, and he'll maybe provide that pop. And, I think that would be a great way for him to start off his next career if he can come up with a big hit or a home run even. So, it's going to be interesting. I don't know how Terry Collins is going to play it out, but, all we got to care about right now is Cespedes is the Mets for the rest of the year. Now,
there were potential rumors that we were going to also have a second outfielder join the Mets. Obviously, that did not happen. But who do you think the Mets were also discussing besides Cespedes to join in the outfield?
It's hard to say with all the stuff that goes around on the trading block. And, some of the names that were thrown out there, I know Mets fans wanted the Mets to look into Ben Revere. That didn't happen. Ben Revere ended up going to Toronto. Cespedes, Jay Bruce, that deal fell apart because Cincinnati did not want to trade Jay Bruce. And that's another thing. The Mets are going to trade Jay Bruce for Wheeler and +1. So then again, you save Wheeler with this deal by acquiring Cespedes, and Jay Bruce is a strikeout machine.
And not just that, is Cespedes is a better player than Bruce, and we're going to give up Wheeler for Bruce, versus we did not give up Wheeler for Cespedes.
Exactly, and the way I see Jay Bruce, he's got better numbers than Duda, but he reminds me a lot of Lucas Duda at the plate. So I don't know if you want 2 strikeout machines going back-to-back in the lineup, personally.
Exactly, and now we have...
Good thing.
Exactly, and now we have left-handed power and right-handed power, which really balances our lineup nicely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. One thing that people don't know is that Cespedes is a good defensive outfielder. It's not like the guy's a scrub and they just have to stick him in the outfield for some reason. He can play defense and he's good. It's going to be interesting now to see what Terry's going to do because Granderson might go to a center, and then you got to put someone in the right. And then Conforto might go down because he hasn't been doing so hot lately. So it'll be interesting to see. But, that's a problem you'd like to have. You have too much talent.
Well, here's Yoenis Cespedes' career stats in the outfield. Only 18 errors in 4 seasons in the outfield. 17 of those have come in left field. That's not bad. He's got a solid arm. We've seen him throw out guys before. He's got a bullet for an arm. So this could work out, especially with kind of weak arms right now. Granderson, no arm. Lagares, we know with the UCL, so this could work out. But my question for you is there a chance of re-signing him in free agency?
Oh, I think there's a huge chance. You look at the Mets' profit that they bring in and how much money. For God's sake, they play in New York. They're in the biggest market that you could possibly have. They have the money. And, I think the Wilpons are upset, and I think Alderson's upset that everyone thinks they're cheap. So I think if Cespedes comes in here, he has good team chemistry, and he produces on the field, I no doubt in my mind that he'll sign. with the Mets again. And I think the Mets have to be aggressive in their pursuit to sign him if he's successful in New York. And if they don't sign him while he's a successful Met, that's just a letdown.
I have to agree with you on that. That'll wrap it up. Trade deadline edition, Geny Mets podcast. We'll be back tomorrow. Signing off.